Hello everyone, welcome to the Wechaty GSoD 2021 final presentation of the tutorials team. We were working on creating easy to learn tutorials for the beginner users of Wechaty. I will start by giving a small introduction of myself. I am Shobhik Biswas, currently pursuing a BTech degree in Computer Science and Engineering from IIIT Kalyani in India. I am a passionate mobile app developer and a freelance technical writer of the Code Magic blog. You can connect with me on Twitter and find some of my articles on Medium. Over to Shwetal.
Hi, I'm Shwetal Soni. I'm a third year BTech CSC student from NIT Hamirpur. I'm a UI UX designer, blockchain developer, and web developer. You can connect with me on the following links on GitHub, LinkedIn, Medium, and Twitter.
Now I would like to give a brief idea about our tasks for the Wechaty documentation. Our main goal was to improve the Wechaty tutorial documentation and make it easier to follow for the beginner users of Wechaty. We have improved the step-by-step guide for building a bot. We have added interactive code sandboxes using which users can try out the bot directly within the documentation page. They can just scan the generated QR code from the code sandbox window using their WeChat app and they are ready to play with the bot. We have also added the relevant screenshots or GIFs of the bot running on any device, added the tutorials for building the example bots, and also included a video tutorial. Here's an overview of the final structure for each of the tutorial pages that we have followed, so that all the tutorial pages are consistent and easy to follow for any user. The structure contains of the following: an introduction section where we talk about the goals of the tutorial. The try out the bot section basically contains the code sandbox of the bot along with an editable link. The requirements section contains a list of required tools in order to follow the tutorial. The getting started section talks a bit about the installation step of the required tools and how the users can try out the bot locally by cloning its GitHub repo. Building the bot is the main section where we include the step-by-step guide. Running the bot contains commands for running the bot on the user system. The bot demonstration section describes the commands that we have used in the bot along with some of the screenshots if required. And at the end, we have the conclusion and references section where we have included any links that the users can go to for knowing more about a particular concept related to the bot. Let me show you the website where we have deployed the following documentation page. So this is the documentation for the Warple bot, and here you can see we have the short introduction at the top. Then we have the try out the bot section which has the code sandbox and the QR code. Then we have the requirements section. The user section is an additional section here which contains a code snippet if the user doesn't want to go deep into the tutorial. This is the getting started section. Then we have the building the bot section where we have described the code and the dependencies required. Then we have the running the bot section where we have described the commands used for running the bot on the user's system. Here is the second code sandbox. Here, actually, these are the to-dos that the user can do and like build the bot by themselves directly in the documentation page without any setup required on the local device. Then we have the bot demonstration section with the commands that the users can use inside the bot. Then we have the conclusions and references section, which contains the links where the users can get to know more about the bots. We have completed all the GSoD tasks as per our initial proposal. You can see on this slide an overview of the pages that we have added or improved. In 17 weeks, we have done a total of 40 pull requests, which consists of 33 weekly pairs, which are actually the addition or improvement to the documentation page that we had included in our initial proposal. And there are 7 miscellaneous pairs, which include some of the fixes that we have done to some of the pages. Like if there were any links missing or the code sandbox was producing any error, or if the page needs some additional changes after the initial peer is merged. On this slide, you can see an overview of the pull requests that we have done. All of them are merged now and deployed to the official documentation website of Wechaty. So here are some of the peers that I have worked on during my GSoD period. The first contribution that I made to Widget docs was adding the Vorpal page, which contained the step-by-step guide and a code sandbox. Next, I worked on the installation page containing the tools required before getting started with building the bot. I have done some improvements to the Google's Cloud Shell page to make it concise and easy to follow. I have also added the Widget plugins overview and the tutorial for 2 of the plugins. Then I have created tutorials for some of the example bots present in the basic, advanced, and the professional categories. Finally, I have also created a video demo of the Dingdong bot. The video guide guides the user to use a step by step to build the bot and run a Dingdong bot from scratch. It covers all the tools required for getting started, writing the code for the bot, running it, and also connecting it to the WhatsApp for interacting with the bot. Let me show you where this video is present on the website. If you go to the tutorials overview section, here you will find this video of this Ding Dong bot. It will guide you from scratch at the end we run it on a physical device on WhatsApp. Now coming to the challenges, when I initially started with improving the Widget docs, the biggest challenge that I faced was building a Widget bot myself, which required knowledge about how to create npm projects, getting to know how can I use various plugins in the bot, and also how can I interact with the bot by connecting to a device. Fortunately, I overcame these challenges pretty quickly and understood the structure to follow by building the bot using Wechaty. The next challenge that I faced was building a code sandbox because I had never worked with it before. But as I had been contributing to Wechaty before even the GSoD period started, and I had tried building some of the sandboxes at that time. So during the GSoD period, I could quickly grasp how to build the sandboxes. Now coming to the third challenge, there were a few errors in some of the example codes present within the Wechaty Getting Started GitHub repo. These errors took a bit of time to solve, but mentors were very helpful in this and they helped us to get them sorted pretty quickly. This is all about challenges that I have faced during my contribution to Wechaty. And we have also created an issue under the Wechaty documentation repo to track the progress during our GSoD season. Now over to Shwetal.
So now I'll cover the all the work that I have done during this GSoT period. So in the first week, I did running locally for Ding Dong bot, under which I wrote a tutorial for how to run a Ding Dong bot locally on your machine. In the second week, I did getting started overview, in which I covered uh, all the requirements that all the things that are covered in getting started overview, like what is Wechaty and what people will be learning uh, as a beginner in Wechaty. And the same week, I also covered tutorials overview. In tutorials overview, I break it into different section. That is first one for the beginners, after that some advanced stuff, and then exploring some more bot, that is adding more functionality to your bot. So this was all covered in tutorials overview, like giving the users a basic idea of what they will be learning in Wechaty tutorials. In the week third, I did running Ding Dong bot on Gitpod. In this, I wrote a tutorial for how a user can. This is the basically the easiest tutorial that a user can start up with Wechaty by jumping on this tutorial. So I covered all the steps that user need to take for running a Ding Dong bot on Gitpod. Then in week sixth, I did add tutorial for. I added tutorial for a QR code terminal plugin. So there is a plugin section and for Wechaty also, like how you can build a bot by using different plugin. So I wrote the tutorial for using QR code terminal plugin, which is I think the most important and the basic plugin, which is which is used in almost all of the bots. So I covered tutorial for that. In week 7, I did using Redux with Wechaty overview. So in this, I gave an overview of like how Redux is used with Wechaty and what are all its significance. In week 9th, I did Ding Dong bot tutorial at the example section. And then in the same week, I did tutorial for world shortest chatbot, which is basically very precise and accurate overview for Wechaty bots, like in all in how many languages Wechaty tutorials are available, that is described here. In week 10th, I created tutorial for room bot, which is under advanced section, and it describes all of the functionalities that are including for a room bot, like how rooms are managed, how the link is shared, everything is covered into that. In the same week, I did busybot tutorial, that is also under advanced bot. Busybot is basically a bot which gives a message whenever the user is busy. And in 12th week, I did tutorial for using vanilla Redux with Wechaty. So after uh, there were basically two sections under using Redux with Wechaty section. One was using vanilla Redux with Wechaty, another one was using uh, docs proposal style for Wechaty. So I covered a tutorial for using vanilla Redux with Wechaty, which is uh, the main Redux that we use. And then in week 13, I did tutorial for Tuling 1 to 3 bot, which is under professional section. In week 16, I did, then after that, till here, up to week 13 or 14, almost all the main sections were covered. Then there was some refactoring involved. So that was done under week 16. And week 16, I did updated some links in tutorials overview page and removed some empty pages from example section, and also did some, there was missing batch in QR code terminal plugin, so I added that. And then in week 16, at the end, I updated the order of language display, like as said, as told by the mentors. And next, there obviously this process was not that easy. There were some challenges faced, like being not a Wechaty developer myself. uh, I faced a lot of issues, like while running code there were many errors which I had to encounter and took a lot of time. And there was a timeout error which I faced the most of the time due to some server issue. So these were the some code related challenges, and there were also some problem with using different puppets. So that was another thing. And so yeah, so whatever challenges we faced, we created an issue for that, and tagged our mentors, and they helped up with the same over GitHub. And mails also. So this was easily tackled. So this was all from my side. Thank you.
Thanks for watching our Wechaty final presentation. Thanks to all our mentors for helping us during the documentation period and making our GSoD season successful.